Flatout Racing Network. This is the IMRC Cup Series, bringing you live from Pensacola International Speedway, the Wrestlemania 240K. My name is Carlos Zimmerman. Alongside me this evening is Jessica Shelton. We're here to bring you the 40 laps of action tonight here in the IMRC Cup Series. Jess, how are you tonight?
I am doing good, ready to start this 5th race of the season on the way to the IMRC playoffs, where we've already got 4 different winners and looking to crown a new winner tonight to see if they can get into the playoffs, Chris.
As these guys continue to go through happy hour and they're speaking in the drivers' meeting right now, it was an exciting lights race that number 28 driver tonight, Charles Belding, had tonight. I'm going to see if he's on track right now. He is not. But he ran a really good race. He had a lot of help from Michael Norman, and that was also here at Pensacola. So he's got a definite edge tonight, if you would agree with me on that.
I would agree, yes, because Belding's already tasted victory lane now. He probably is really itchy to get to it again, especially in the cup side of things. And then you've got Michael, who helped him get up there to begin with. So we know that Michael right now has not won a race. He won the exhibition IMRC Battle of Ram Ranch when they ran that at Dayton on the 24th of February. But, you know, he wants to go ahead and get another one to actually lock himself in. Now is the chance to do it.
A couple winners this season to talk about. Dylan Poteet winning back at Talladega. Nathan, he had a win as well earlier this season. Guys that are looking to be doing really well on this big of a track. Now, Jess, I don't know exactly if you've ran this track or not, but tell me, if you have, tell me how this track runs.
Well, I have ran this track. I do not like this track. I hate it with a burning passion. The entry of pit road is a little bit aggravating because when you come into pit road, sometimes it wants to push drivers up or pull drivers down based on the grip and how it is basically set up. The other thing that we always have seemed to have an issue with this track is fuel mileage. A lot of drivers run out with probably 1 to go or halfway to the finish, and I can't tell you how many times that's happened in a race I've been part of.
We're going to see how that happens tonight. I'm showing the pit lane right now. Yeah, it looks like it is a very tough pit lane to get onto, as these guys look to be ready to line up here. Let's get you to the top of the grid. Looks like Andrew Lemke is going to be on the front row, waiting to see who his pole sitter will be.
Well, based on the qualifying results, it would be Dante in the 82 car and Joey Murphy in the 3, and it'd be starting 3rd, and Dejan 4th with Lyndon Wright 5th.
Really stacked field tonight in this 5th race of the season. Couldn't get that out. IMRC Cup Series. This is going to be, I think it's going to be a fun race tonight. 3 miles, 40 laps. Yeah, that's a little confusing. It says 60 down there, but I guess that's just for, I would assume that would be for just overflow, overtime period.
Yeah, it should be for overtime because they run a limited amount of laps, and then, you know, in case of an extra caution or so, they like to run a green-white checker to give the fans a good show and just to get that little excitement buzz going. You know, you never know what can happen, especially on a plate race at the end. It's always wild and hectic.
We apologize if there's any missing cars in the field. If that's a mistake, we'll get that fixed for next time. But regardless, it's Dante Ricci, and Andrew Lemke on the front row here tonight.
So who do you have that you want to keep your eye on based on happy hour and practice?
I mean, I'm not going to just say from practice. I really like Belding. I really do. He's further in the back right now, but I really like him tonight. And I'm very excited to what he's going to do. The green flag in the air already. Dante Ricci gets us underway.
I would probably put my money on Norman tonight, hopefully. But yeah, they're going. Looks like everyone's trying to go down to the bottom. We got a few people up on the high side up there trying to make the high side work, but it looks like the bottom is going to be the overpowering place to be at the very beginning of this run.
Dante Ricci has looked to the outside. Here comes Joey Murphy in the 14. He peeks to the outside, trying to get a run on the outside, and he is going to, maybe get the lead here. He's got help from the 80 of Lyndon Wright, and not quite clear into 3.
They're going 3 wide back there where the 22 of Shane Sides is right now. Now they're settling back out the double file side by side going into the corner before they hit the backstretch, and hopefully they all can make this one whole lap without any issues and any wrecks.
Murphy had a really good run there, coming off of 4 and coming into 3, but he just could not handle Ricci. Ricci leads that first lap as it looked, as you said, 2 lines are forming and everyone's congregating to the bottom. Ricci in first, Amoito in second, third Dejan Weeks, fourth Dan Day, and Michael Norman, your pick, running in 5th right now. Or sorry, not in 5th. I guess a couple guys lagged out for a second. It is the 7 of Andrew Lemke that's in 5th.
And we have a driver on the very high side falling back to try to get out of the harm's way to make sure he doesn't get involved.
The 82 continues to run up front. No one really content with having to make a move on him right now. Battles towards the mid of this group. Michael Norman now trying to get around Berto in the 91. And coming there's my pick, Charles Belding. He has already made his way up here, up the inside line. He is now running in the 7th position with help from the 78 of Roger Ray.
And just a slight little quick update here. Cody Lamas is now back on the track, and he's now just coming off of 4, coming to the start-finish line to start his run now.
There's Cody Lamas, and we'll bring up the ticker for you now. 28-car field this evening. Yeah, Lamas, tough break for him early on, but he's hoping to maybe get it going. He's running in 3rd gear, so I'm not sure if he may have dropped 4th gear already, or I don't know what could be wrong with the 48 there, but he's running in gear 3 right now as he's coming through 1 and 2.
And if he's going to be running in gear 3, that is not something you want to do for almost 50 laps. Especially at a track where you go over, like, speeds around 175 to 180. The car just cannot handle it. If he keeps running in 3rd gear, he's probably going to end up having to retire and blow the motor.
Yeah, Dante Ricci, as we've completed 3 on lap 4 now, he is running 195 entering turn 1. Up where Lamas is, he's running 177, so he'll be caught eventually. I guess that's a broken 4th gear on the 48. Tough break for him. Hoping to maybe bounce back next week when we head to Iowa, but right now Dante Ricci is in control.
Carter Friesen and Robbie are back here as well, running in the 27th and 26th position back there.
Yeah, it looks like Friesen, he's down in 3rd gear, and Gilvin's running in 4th, 183 in his 88 Valvoline car. We saw him, that was the car dropping back, so maybe he's just trying to stay away from the trouble. But yeah, Friesen's got trouble.
DJ Curtis is on the bottom at the back making a move. He's in the 24, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's subbing for Dylan Schwallenberg in the 24. Schwallenberg's already made it into the playoffs after winning at Kentucky earlier on the season.
Good effort for him to be able to get in the car tonight and make a run. Not much happening up front. It's still about a single car group until you get back here. Ray just cleared the 17 of Poteet. There's the 46 of Zach Stoltz. That's the battle on track right now, as that outside line has not been able to make much movement after Joey Murphy tried to make that move earlier on.
No, it has not. They're falling back, and they're trying to get something going, because if you're going to win this race, you got to make sure that high side can go when it's time, and they're trying to go up there and experiment early on, and it just looks like that outside line is not where you want to be, period, at this point in time.
Ricci continuing to pace this field. Essentially, Lemke got
wow, Poteet randomly just put his nose right there. That was almost a little bump from Shane Sides in the 22.
Yeah, I saw Poteet there. He was trying to just squeeze down in line there. Now the inside line's breaking up a little bit here with Andrew Lemke and Dan Day. And so that could be helpful for that outside line led by the 91, but it's nothing going as Poteet shifts back to the outside to lead that top line.
You know, that's what's great about some of these people who run in this series. You got people who actually are careful, they know what they're doing, they make moves, even though we here are really amazed by the moves they make, thinking that it's risky, they know what they can and can't do. That's why they're that good of drivers, and that's why they run the way they run every single week, running up in the top 5 and winning races like Pokey can.
Ricci still pacing the field. He's led them all. Lap 7 now on the board. Not, like I said, much else from other than the challenge from Murphy earlier on. No one else has been able to really go up and challenge that 82 Hershey's Toyota. That's one thing we got to talk about. This rivalry of manufacturers, Toyota, Ford, Chevy, they are just having it out this season. And it's early on in this season as we're only in week 5. But, oh, we got some action going on here now. The outside line starting to form now. Because look at that, that inside line's broken apart. The 78 of Ray was left out to dry. Here comes Michael Norman with help from Charles Belding, the man who helped him win the lights race.
And Tyler Mallon, who was up on that right side, Mallon has a really, really good knack for running these plate races and actually doing well. So there might be a good idea to be in the line or the lane that Tyler Mallon is in. As you see, Lemke really, really pressing the issue there against, who is it, Poteet up there?
That was Poteet, that was Belding and Norman that he nearly got up into. Also on this outside line, a couple people we haven't talked about yet. Yeah, Tyler Mallon, as you mentioned. Will Goss is up here. His
and here we got a battle coming up for the lead. We got a battle. Dante's trying to hold both lanes here, and Natan moved up to the high side to get that lead, and Dante slammed that door shut. But here comes Natan. He wants to get that lead. He doesn't want to have Dante lead every single lap.
Natan to the outside now. They have definitely got the advantage on the outside. That 36 Pennzoil Ford looking to get ahead, but amazing how Dante Ricci's been able to hold his own there on the inside as they're going to come out of turn 4 here to complete lap 8 of 40. Quite a battle here. Now a third line starting to form on the outside with the 51, but that goes away at the stripe. Very close there. Lap led by Ricci.
Dante leads that lap, but I wonder if he can hold on to this lap because Natan's there and he's really going to make an effort to get this lead as they go 3 wide back there. A couple of drivers back there following to the end of the pack, trying to reformulate what they want to do with their strategy, see what lane they want to get into to see if they want to move forward or if they just want to stay back there because it's getting a little bit dicey now up front.
That, as soon as that inside line just started to break apart, it formed back up in the forms of Roger Ray and Andrew Lemke. Outside goes Poteet for a moment, and that's going to be a mistake. That's going to cost him as he's going to shuffle to the back. He'll get help from the 44. That is, oh, I can't find him now. Oh, I keep missing him. That is Felipe Teixeira, excuse me. Oh, it looked like he almost got the wall there with help from the 47. That is Andrew Miller.
And we're going to give you a little small quick update here at the other side of the track. We've got Cody Lomas and Carter. They are working together, trying to at least make something happen. Carter is in 4th gear, and Cody is now in 4th gear, running at 187. So Cody finally is up to speed, and he has help with Friesen. They're far back, but if they get a caution, they might be saved.
The caution would be the best friend to both of them right now. We're on lap 10 of 40, a quarter of the way through. Ricci.
Austin Ogo has dropped back and lost the field. He's lost contact with the group.
Go here. Try to find him. There he is, 41 Quick Trip Ford Mustang. He seems to be off the pace. He may have blown 4th gear. He's in 3rd gear at the moment.
I am not sure if this is actually an ability to run 3rd gear the way they are, because I'm pretty sure.
Maybe. I would not understand that, but actually, it's showing him in last right now, so it looks like he didn't even, either something went wrong with him, or he didn't even take the green, well, he took the green flag because he's only 2 laps down. So very interesting what happened to him. More battling up front. Ricci's going again, but he's getting challenges from Nathan at the moment in the 36 on the outside. Now Ricci's clear of him, and as they head down into 3, it is him, Weeks, and the 61 of Dan Day leading that inside line.
And someone we haven't talked about who's pretty decent at plate tracks, not the best of luck unfortunately, but really, really good, is Lyndon Wright back there in the 80. He's currently clocking in 22nd. Don't know where he's going to come around this time at, but he's holding up, and it's good to see that he's running because it's rare that we get a chance to see him race and enjoy himself out there.
Tyler Mallon looking to maybe get shuffled out of line here. He's hoping to get Charles Belding to get him back in line, but it doesn't look like Belding's even going to let that happen. It's not even Belding. It's the 2 of Will Goss, but he does let him back in. Now Michael Norman makes a shift, and he's going to push the 36 back as Norman's going to try and slide in line here, and he will back in 6th. Lemke all over the place, but everyone keeping it together. So far,
there is a car off the track.
That is the 79 of Jonathan Field. Oh boy, he is all over the place. Looks like he may have been net coding, so he heads off the track to get out of the way of everybody. So he does a good job of saving that car, so he'll continue on, but he's going to fall and more than likely lose the pace of the field.
We got a little bit of warp from quite a few of these drivers here, but they're all holding on, holding it steady. No cautions currently. Started lap 13, and you have to wonder, now that this is CTS physics, the way that CTS physics pretty much drains the fuel cell, wondering what their fuel window will be if they're going to be coming in the next 4 or 5 laps.
One thing we'll have to look out for, is that fuel mileage. Lemke tried to make a move. He thought better of it and jumps back in line. It's a 3-car tandem now with the 82, 10, and 61. Now starting to split up a little bit. Very clean racing. I'll say this much. It's been very clean so far.
Been very aggressive and very tight, but clean nonetheless.
Yes, absolutely. So that outside line sort of is broken apart, and that inside line's a little bit more organized. Norman getting a little loose there, but Ricci, he has still led them all. Lap 14 on the board. He's led them all. What a great run for him so far tonight. He's a guy you're going to have to watch out for. A couple of our picks.
There's a wreck. The 20 of Tristan Allen, the 43. That
Tristan Allen
got a caution.
Blake Warren around. Caution is out on the racetrack.
And that saves Cody Lamas, Carter Friesen, and Gilbin in the very back.
That's mentioned Austin Ogo.
That is true.
As they were not quite a lap down. We will go back and check it, but Blake Warren, a car involved. He looks, and the 91 of Berto is back here as well. Fajild was, he was just off the pace, so it looks like it may have been just a 1-car incident. Let's get you back up to the field, and we're going to take a quick look here real quick to see what happened to the 43, Blake Warren.
It looks like the 91 checked up just a little bit, and the 43 ran in the back of him, not expecting the checkup, and that sent the 43 up in front of the 20 of Tristan Allen, who was an unfortunate bystander in that issue.
Seeing it here, the 43 right behind the 91. Yeah, here comes the 20 of Allen up to the outside. Warren looks like he runs into the back of the 91, makes contact with him, and yeah, that was just nowhere to go for the 20 as the 43 got loose, got a little air there. I think the 14 of Murphy got a little piece of that as well. Going down here, there's Allen as Berto spinning out up ahead of him. Good job by Lyndon Wright and David Alvarez to avoid that mess. But does the 20 get back up into the 91? No, he gets by. But yeah, that's the look there. Blake Warren and Berto, the cars.
It looked to me that 91 was, when we drive on these tracks, there's always a chance of a little bit of a checkup on the lane because of the draft that we get and the runs that we get on each other. And from what I'm seeing, that's probably what happened, was that the 91 had a run, backed off so he wouldn't run the person in front of him, and the driver behind him, which happened to be Blake, just didn't expect that to happen based on how they've been running, and he just randomly had nowhere to go, right into the back of him.
So back up to the front, Dante Ricci still in control of this race. Second place behind him is Dejan Weeks. Third, Dan Day. Fourth, Andrew Lemke. Fifth, Amoedo. Sixth, Roger Ray. Seventh, Charles Belding. Eighth, Michael Norman. Tyler Mallon. Ninth, and Will Goss rounds out the top 10. And it looks like they're coming through 3 and 4 here. I don't know if they're going to be able to, or not be able, but making a move towards.
What I'm sitting here looking at is Dante. If Dante comes in, this is lap 15 going on 16. If I'm not mistaken with this physics with ×2 wear, 3-mile track, they might be between 3 or 4 laps early coming in. So it makes you wonder if they can actually make it, on several, maybe a couple more stops, maybe one more stop or not. I'm not really sure about the fuel window here.
Ricci's coming in. He more than likely has the last pit box on the racetrack. Weeks following behind him, Dan Day as well. It's going to be interesting here. This race, this is one thing to think about. This race could be won on and off pit road. Let's go to the pit lane cam, as I'm not able to see anything from that angle. Who's going to be coming out first here? I'm looking at Ricci, and he's got the right sides up now, going maybe to the left sides. No? Nothing from him. A couple of cars heading out. Ricci will be the first on pit road, followed by Weeks, and Lemke spins on pit exit. He crossed
That's really unfortunate for Lemke doing that.
He crossed the line in fourth, I believe. So he should be able to come back out in fourth.
And
but
the
my
51
goodness.
of Eric Rodriguez is spinning out on the apron in front of all the drivers.
Let's have a
It
look
must
here.
be really slick on that apron.
Rodriguez got it corrected, and will keep it going. He's towards the middle of the group here.
He's going to go back and get a spot.
Getting word from race control, the 43 of Blake Warren will be towards the back. Same with Cody Lamas. I believe Lamas is going to be the NASCAR line. Ogo got the free pass of the 29 cars on the track. He will be one lap down, needing another caution to get that lap back in, possibly back into this race.
Now, just to ask one more time, because I missed it earlier, how many laps are they supposedly running? Limit the actual distance of 40?
40, yes.
Okay, well then this really puts it in perspective of fuel mileage, because most of the time you can go about 19-20 laps on ×2 wear, but I'm not sure with a 3-mile track. So with that being said, they're going to have to make at least one more pit stop, and for all we know, overtime. If they run overtime, that might be a little bit of a hesitant as well.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to consider. We're coming to the green flag here. This is what you're going to be your top 10 was. Out of pit road, Dante Ricci's elected the outside lane. Dejan Weeks second. Daniel Day third. Andrew Lemke fourth. Fifth, Roger Ray. Sixth, Tyler Mallon. Seventh, Michael Norman. Eighth, Will Goss. Ninth, Nathan Amoito. And 10th will be Charles Belding. Interesting move by Ricci to take the outside line. We will take the green flag back here at lap 17 of 40, with 23 laps to go. Ricci's on the gas, and we're back to racing.
Now we have to figure out if... And Dante just randomly pulls right ahead of Dejan easily, and he's going to clear Dejan and go right back to the bottom where he's been running comfortably the whole race, leading every single lap at this point on.
Have gotten confirmation from my eye in the sky. It is 40 laps of this race. Yeah, I'm assuming that it will be just for overtime periods. But yeah, Ricci just got a really good start, and Dejan didn't even bother contesting it.
And it makes you wonder if the damage that Blake got earlier, along with the other ones, how bad that's going to affect us. Blake is completely off the pace now. He's way back there. Cody Lamas is back there with David Alvarez. It looks like Alvarez is barely hanging on to the draft, but it looks like Cody and Blake are completely out of it now.
3 wide, just near the outside of the top 10, and Lemke! And we're wrecking. That should bring out a yellow.
That is a really big wreck that we just had off the floor.
Cars involved, the 91 involved, 79 of Field may have been involved. Felipe Teixeira. Blake Warren just blew by everybody and got a few spots back. Zach Stoltz back here as well. Nathan Kiani.
That was a massive wreck off of 4.
Big wreck off of 4, and it started, and it wasn't even up where Lemke and Mallon were. Oh, and Lemke's showing no hit to Mallon, and he just spun Mallon out on the back straightaway.
And Belding just got collected in that.
Oh my goodness! Retaliation.
The lights winner Charles Belding has got damaged because of that little issue as well now. I'm sure Belding's not happy about that.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be happy with that. We'll take a minute to look back at what happened. We saw it live. It started with the 7 of Lemke and the 18 of Tyler Mallon back on toward coming to the line. I went back there because I saw Lemke get 3 wide, and I wasn't sure what was about to happen. But so I'm going to start with them. You saw them going at it live. I'm going to go back further to see what happened with the 44 Felipe Teixeira. And we're just going to bring it back up here and see what happened to them.
I'm looking
This
at
is coming through 3 and 4. You see the 7 and the 18 starting to get a little chippy. The 18 comes up into the 7. 51's on the apron. I want to say the 44 may have ran. Yeah, he ran into the back of Stoltz, which sent him down into Jonathan. And then the 95, Kiani gets collected. Wow, Allen just misstepped by a nose. Well, maybe he didn't.
And luckily, Cody was able to make sure that he stayed away from all that, and he's back with the pack now, along with Blake Warren. But I'm not sure if Blake Warren's going to be up to speed anyway to stay with him, unfortunately.
Berto, another wreck for him. He's involved in Allen getting a little bit more damage in that one. Alvarez, I think, got a piece of it. But Teixeira, I think that was just from the 46 of Stoltz checking up.
Now, I'm curious about
reaction at the front.
I'm curious about the issue between Mallon and Lemke, because going back where the retaliation was, Lemke made an aggressive move. He made a move to lightly come down and get on the passenger side of Tyler Mallon and kind of like rub him a little bit. And Mallon didn't appreciate that and went up, and then Lemke came back down. And it looked like Lemke wasn't happy with Mallon to start with about something.
That looks to be the case. While we were in the replay, the drivers came back down again to get fuel and tires, maybe just to top off the tanks after just coming down the pit road at lap 19 of 60. So you got to think they're thinking about that long-term thing if we do go to overtime period.
Now, this should be putting them where they were normally supposed to be at if it actually went to a green flag pit stop, I would believe, between like 18 and 20. Dante, however, up at the front, he's going to go back on the outside where he did last time. Dejan on the bottom. We're going to find out if Dante can pull the same miracle like he did last time, or if Dejan has something ready to go against Dante to keep the lead this time from Dante.
Top 5 is Dante Ricci, Deshaun Weeks, Dan Day, Roger Ray, and Michael Norman's worked his way inside the top 5. Poteet. Look, here's a guy who we haven't talked about tonight. That's the 24. That's DJ Curtis. He's worked his way up here inside the top 10. Up there also is Nathan. Joey Murphy's worked his way back up. How about the 77 of Friesen? He's up here as we're getting ready to take the green flag on the halfway lap of lap 20. And here
we're getting sorted out. Back in the back, they're coming back down pit road. I guess they're not.
I guess we're gonna get one more.
And I didn't hear him say that we were on the green either.
I didn't hear that either. They lined up double file. I just assumed they were gonna get going. So my bad. We're gonna go around one more time. A couple cars heading down. That was Friesen, I mentioned.
Shane has been sitting on pit road, so my opinion is if he wasn't involved too much, he's probably doing a little review check about what had happened there, and being the admin that he is, he will make the best call necessary and find out who gets penalized if there is a penalty.
Friesen, you have him coming off pit road. Tristan Allen, Nathan Kiani, who's got a lot of rear end damage.
Yeah, it's a review going on because Will Goss is on pit road too, and he's one of the co-admins.
Okay, so that's what's going on here as to why we are not going back to green yet. There's Felipe Teixeira, Lyndon Wright's back here. There's Belding, hoping he got a lot of his damage repaired. 46 is Stoltz, Lamas, and then David Alvarez and Will Goss. And Shane is coming back out, so we should be on 1 to green now.
In the meantime, you've got Dante up near the front, and it just makes you wonder, With as strong of a car as Dante has, does anyone really have anything for that 82? Because he's already led up to lap 20, which is halfway already. Is he going to dominate this whole race? What do you think?
I would say he's already dominated it.
And Lemke just hit Malin, and Malin just turned Lemke under caution.
And Lemke's gone. Oh my goodness.
Tempers are flaring. This is really important for them to actually win this race, and you can tell it. Winning a race to get in the playoffs means quite a bit to these drivers.
One thing we didn't mention, Austin Ogo did get the free pass, so he's back on the lead lap. He's back in it now. We're now going to take the green, completing halfway of this race. Dante Ricci to bring him to the green here.
Dante going to take right now. The green flag is back out, and Dante is going to try to clear Dejan, and it looks like he's going to clear him again.
Yep, Dejan just lets him down. Poteet slides to the inside line, leaving Roger Ray out to dry here on lap 21 of 40. Halfway home here in the WrestleMania 240K. You're just joining us here on FRN. I'm Carlos Zimmerman, alongside me Jessica Shelton. Quite an awesome race tonight, but it's been dominated by Dante Ricci so far. He's got Dejan Weeks and Dan Day, Dylan Poteet, and I believe that's the 21 of Michael Norman back here as well. And that is your top 5 as they run.
This race is only halfway through, and we've already seen most of it. Like anything that can happen has happened. We've had drivers fall off the pack and randomly get caught back up thanks to cautions. We've had random wrecks that have happened that have become bigger than what they need to be. We've had aggressiveness. We've had tempers. Everything is riding on this win for them to make it into the playoffs. And it's halfway through the normal season right now. We've got about 5 or 6 more races after this race here for them to get into the playoffs. So they're all trying to get it done tonight and now.
Outside line starting the form in the form of DJ Curtis, and we just talked about him. Austin Ogo has worked his way inside the top 10 after being 2 laps down earlier on in the race. Those 2 cautions were very kind to him, and now he's running in the top 10. Coming to the outside Weeks for a moment to try and protect it as Norman went up. Curtis now goes to the middle, and now Poteet's in front of Norman. They got a lot of action up here at the front.
And they're going to go 3 wide up here in this corner. I don't know if that's a good idea, but you know how Poteet is. Poteet and Norman, they are really good friends. They've worked together so many times in the past, so it's good to see that they're there. But unfortunately, Norman has dropped to the back. I don't know if he's got a problem or if he just got left out to dry there.
It looked like he got left out to dry. That middle line starting to form now as the 14 got shuffled up out of the groove. Weeks now is out to the outside.
Now he darts back to the bottom right behind Dante. It looks to me like, if you notice this whole race, Poteet is the constant variable. And it just seems like Poteet is ready to make that move and make it work going on that high side, but he just never can get there, and it looks like the high side has a little bit of a run, and then it just falls apart.
Poteet trying to get up to Dan Day's bumper, maybe, or just trying to maybe side draft off the 61. Inside line a little bit more organized compared to that inside line as Nathan's trying to catch up to the 78 of Ray. And it looks like he will. A couple cars getting shuffled out. That was the 47. Who is that?
Andrew Miller.
Andrew Miller, thank you. He gets shuffled out, and he's now going to start falling to the back. So even after all that, outside line still cannot get it together to try and catch that leader. Dante Ricci just showing utter dominance tonight here in Pensacola.
From what I've noticed on this restart, ever since we went back to green, Tyler Mallon has been aggressive. He put his nose underneath the 47, forcing the 47 to move up out of the way so Tyler can get the spot. He is really trying to get up to the front in a hurry.
Back there, Shane Sides and a couple other guys were getting just a little chippy as they were trying to shift lines. Roger Ray's all of a sudden moved out of that bottom line to the outside line. He's got help from Nathan Amaguito, and they're leading that outside line now, trying to get in front. But Ricci and Weeks and Day showing utter dominance as they have been the top 3 for about the entirety of the race.
Meanwhile, in the back, we've got about a group of 17 cars all together, nose to tail, and then you've got a couple of stragglers. Not too far off of the pack itself, we've got Robbie Gilbin back here, we've got Alvarez, the 44 of the Sheriff, and unfortunately, it seems like the only car off the pace and out of this right now is Blake Warren.
Blake Warren involved in a wreck earlier on in the race. He was on our first caution. Only one car out of the race. That's Andrew Lemke. He has been parked and is in the hauler right now, speaking with IMRC officials as to of his actions in tonight's race. With 16 laps to go, Ricci still showing the dominance. Now, I want to ask you something, Jess. Weeks has had a couple good runs with help from Dan Day. Is he just content to sitting behind him, or is he just waiting to pick his moment? Because like that right there.
Well, it seems to me that Dejan is just going to ride him this whole time, and he's going to get that opportunity when he sees it, and he will make that move when it presents itself. Dejan knows how to race. He's done a really good job of racing these plate tracks that I've been a part of in the past, and he knows how to get it done. He's just probably toying with everyone currently right now. And you got to remember, tonight, Dante is racing. I think this might be his first race of the season he's actually racing.
And for him, this being his first race, very impressive, to say the least. That Hershey's car running really well as that outside line has died off again. Roger Ray pulling back. Carter Friesen has worked his way up to fourth. What a run for him. Kiani was in that last wreck, and he's up to sixth now. It's seventh last time by. He's trying to edge out Ray here at the line, and I believe he will. So good runs for these guys who even have quite a bit of damage to their cars. You'd think that would really wreck the aero of the car.
I mean, Tristan Allen's still hanging on to the draft back there. Cody Lamas is now getting some spots, and he's making it 3 wide currently right now, trying to gain his positions as well.
Weeks peeked to the outside for a moment with help from Dan Day. Not the case. Dan peeks to the outside again, but falls back in line in front of Friesen. That might take a little bit of steam off the inside line, maybe give an opportunity for the outside to get going, but still nothing, as the 78 is just to the back bumper of the third-place car Day. But it is all about Dante Ricci, and now he's pulling out a little further away from Weeks. You got to be careful at plate tracks. I hate to use this term, but you pull out too far, you're a sitting duck. And whoa, we got a car on the apron. That was Kiani, but he brings it back up.
And that right there is going to jumble up that bottom a little bit. Now there's aggressive movement between Goss and Tyler Mallon, but they settle it back to side by side.
Whoa, Ricci! Not Ricci!
Here's the 91. And that's going to be a caution.
Kiani, not Ricci. Michael Norman involved. Berto in his third wreck of the... Oh, my goodness. Kiani in his second wreck, and I mentioned Berto in his third wreck. Michael Norman, looked like Alvarez was back here as well. Gilvin spinning on the apron here.
Belding got through that. Your pick, he was able to get through that, so it's good for him. But unfortunate for a couple of other drivers who were just minding their own business, relaxing, and of course, like you mentioned a moment ago. So it's just it's a heartbreak for these drivers, getting close, hitting that apron, getting loose, spinning out, and then just going like they always say, it's a self-clean track. You go up and it comes right back down.
We'll take a look here and go back and see what happened with the 21 of Michael Norman, the 91 of Berto.
It started with the 95.
I said Ricci by accident, but that was Kiani that was out of shape. I'm looking here. He was down on the apron. And I'm going to pull to a different angle here, see if we can get a better look at what happened with the 95 Exalta car of Kiani. Yeah, hold on. No, that's not a good angle. Let's just go with our traditional TV1 cam, the good faithful.
It looks to me like Kiani just barely touched that yellow line where the paint grip is, and just the back end kicks out when he tries to save it, and the 91 checks up just a little bit, and because of the 91 checking up, it got him loose, and it just went all down from there.
Yeah, Kiani, he just got down there on the apron too much, and I think the 91 may have had a little help from the 2 of Will Goss. And look at Austin Ogo trying to avoid that wreck, and he did. Norman almost had it missed, but got clipped by the 95 and 91 coming back up the track. It's a miracle that, in retrospect, this is only a 3-car wreck, and this happened towards the tail end of the top 10. So impressed with everybody else that was able to get around it, but the 95 of Kiani just got a little too far down on the apron, and that is why we are under our third caution of the evening on lap 28 of 40, closing in on 10 laps to go.
And luckily, the 44 and the 48 of Wellness, they both were able to get through that, and that happened directly right in front of them. And remember, Cody, he was way in the back at the start of this, so this race has been pretty much nothing but luck for that 48 car.
So they were in the pits while we were on the replay. The 82 of Dante Ricci, that first pit stall, a definite help to him as he is back out in front.
Austin Ogo EOLing for whatever reason, I'm not really sure unless he sped on pit road.
Not sure what's going on there, but we got a different little group here. I'd say they were teammates, but they're not. They just have similar looking cars because someone didn't get these cars into the server. The 10 of Dejan Weeks has a friend in Joey Murphy behind him now. Dan Day is now on the outside. It hasn't mattered really on these restarts because Weeks just lets the 82 get down and just take control of the field. He has led every lap tonight. Other cars here, the 78 of Roger Ray's in 5th, Friesen is 6th, Jonathan is in 7th. Back here further, 8th is Nathan Amoito, 9th Lampotian, and 10th, rounding out the top 10, is DJ Curtis.
This is going to be really, really interesting because we're going to be coming up to lap 30 out of 40, so we'll have 11 laps to go here. And you've got Dejan and Dante dominating the whole race, but now Joey Murphy is there. So let's see what happens with Murphy being right there in the center of this issue here for the win.
Ricci, the control car. We are back under green with you. Like you said, 11 laps to go. This time, Weeks got a little bit of a better start than Ricci. He may be able to challenge Ricci into the corner, and he will. He's on the inside now, challenging Ricci for the lead.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Dejan will pick his moment and he will go, but what I'm looking at is that 14 right behind Dejan of Joey Murphy. Joey Murphy hasn't raced very often, but when he's racing, he usually can be up near the front, and he's really good at these plate tracks.
Can we, for the first time tonight, have a different leader? This is our first lead change, and it looks like that's going to be the case. Coming through 3 and 4, Ricci falling all the way back now to 5th. Dejan Weeks now in control as we are coming to 10 laps to go here tonight at Pensacola, where he's got help from Murphy, Roger Ray 3rd, Jonathan 4th, and 5th, Dylan Potey with Tyler Mallon in 6th.
And Dejan Weeks officially leads the lap and breaks Dante's little hold that he had. And Joey Murphy loose behind him.
So it looks like Ricci did a very good job pacing that inside line, but now when he's leading the outside line, looks like he's not as quick. So maybe him choosing the outside was just maybe getting those advantages over Dejan and not Dejan letting him down. And now, because he's not able to pace that outside line as good as the others were, Amoito making a switch down in the lines behind Shane's sides. We got a lot of action happening back there, but it's all about Dejan Weeks right now as we're coming to 9 to go.
With 9 to go, I don't think we're going to have any more issues with pitting, period, at the rest of this race. I think they're good to go in fuel to the rest of the distance at 40. And it looks like a lot of drivers are hitting that apron coming off the corner, getting a little bit loose and a little bit squirrely, as Dejan again leads another lap of this race. And looks like the only person currently off the pace would be Blake Warren, but the 91 looks like he might be starting to fall. So I'm really wondering what Joey Murphy might have for that 10.
I couldn't tell you. They're just really racing hard. A 79 of Jonathan, he has moved up to the outside line and is now pacing that outside line with help from Tyler Mallon and Dante Ricci, the man who's dominated this race. DJ Curtis is now creeping his way up on this inside line. He's 5th there in line. He's got Poteet in front of him along with Roger Ray. And Dan Day's fallen to 6th in that line. So the 78 is the new guy that's just been rolling around there in 3rd. A couple other guys up there as well. That is just what a race so far tonight. We got a little bit more left as Weeks leads another lap, and we are on lap 33 of 40 with 8 laps to go.
on that high side trying to organize itself. You've got Tyler Mallon and Dante up there, and it looks like they get a good run coming off the corner, but because they don't have enough people up there, it just falls apart. And that inside is organized and right there. That bottom is going to be really hard to beat. Tyler Mallon looking like he wants to go to the inside, but no dice. He wants to stay up on the high side and continue to draft the car of Jonathan Fell. Well, Dante, I don't know if Dante can get back to the front, because if he gets back to the front, that's the threat right there, is at 82.
He has fallen way back and nearly outside the top, now outside the top 10. The guy that's dominated the race all night. You saw Roger Ray as they're getting 3 wide back there around the 80. That's Lyndon Wright. They were all getting squirrely trying to avoid the 79 of Jonathan, and they looks like they settle it all out as Jonathan falls way to the back. Top break for him. Norman on the apron. He saves it. Great save.
And there's
Gianni again. That's going to bring out a yellow, I think. Well, everyone...
The 91 was involved, but I'm not sure. Is it?
Yep, caution is out. The 44 of Felipe Teixeira involved. Again, the 95 of Kiani. And then for the 4th time tonight, Berto in the 91 involved in yet another wreck. Not a good night for him.
Well, now this ought to be pretty interesting, don't you think? Because now we've got the person who helped Dejan get to the lead to break that little string that Dante had over the whole field, the whole race. And now they're going to be starting side by side. So it makes you wonder which lane Dejan's going to pick, and if the other lane will actually get a really good start on this next restart that we're going to have here.
When we see that restart, as it looks like the pits are closed for anybody who wants to take it, Dejan, yeah, you're right. This is going to be a very interesting. This is a lineup we have yet to have seen. Most of the night, you've seen Dante Ricci take the outside line and then be able to pull that in front of Dejan Weeks. Dan Day was up there as well as a pusher, as is a couple other guys like Poteet and Michael Norman. But only Poteet's up there now. Looks like that's how they're going to line up, it looks like. It looks like Weeks has chosen the inside line, and the 14 will be relegated to the outside. So the Dante is going to, not Dante. See, with Dante running up front all night, you just start getting used to saying his name a lot. So it's Dejan on the front. He'll have help from Dylan Poteet, and then the 14 will have help from the 24. Real quick, while these guys are driving around, we're going to take back and look at what happened with the 95. You saw it a little bit on your screen. Kiani getting out of shape. We're going to do this really fast as they are on the 1 to green. It's happening in turns 1 and 2.
It seems like he just got loose again. The back end just got away from him.
Yeah, he found that apron again. He's got David Alvarez behind him.
And when you're going about 190 or 188, it's hard to react when you're that close to someone, especially coming into a corner.
I think he got a little help from the 59 Barstool Toyota of David Alvarez as he goes around. The 44, I think, got loose trying to avoid it. And the 91 didn't really get involved. He just spun it around too. So just a couple of cases where the 95 got help. The 44 of Teixeira just got loose trying to avoid it. Same with the 91. That is how you write it up there. That is basically it. And what happened in that wreck is we're going to scoot back to the front real quick.
Now, I can tell you, looking at these drivers up front here, the only repeat, you got 2 repeat winners up here, and that would be Shane Sides in the 22 restarting 6th, and the 17 Dylan Poteet in 3rd.
Well, I was wrong. Dejan Weeks has chosen the outside line as we're going to go green with 5 laps to go. Your top 10, Dejan Weeks, Joey Murphy in 2nd. Dylan Poteet 3rd, TJ Curtis 4th, Dan Day 5th. Rest of the top 10, Shane Sides, Nathan Amoito, Will Goss, Roger Ray, and Tyler Mallon, as we are down to a 5-lap shootout to decide the winner of the Wrestlemania 240K here at Pensacola on the Flatout Racing Network. We hope you've been enjoying it so far. You're going to enjoy more of it right now as it's crunch time. 5 to go. Weeks on the gas. Good start for Curtis and a good push as the green is out with 5 to left in this one.
And Dejan immediately to the bottom, holding serve. He knows that bottom is where you want to be at, and that's exactly where he's going to be at himself.
Everybody on that outside line just shifted to the left or didn't get a good start. And that is why you only see 4 cars that trained at the 24, 2, 22, and the 18 all alone up there. Poteet's now settled into third with Murphy ahead of him. Dan Day right behind him. Kept him quiet. Allen out of line.
They're really jostling for position back there, and this isn't even in the top 5. This is way in the back, middle of the pack. They're really trying to make every spot count.
Tristan Allen got shuffled out of line and sent down the back straightaway. He's got it back going. We are still green here in Pensacola, coming to 4 laps to go.
And you got to remember, some of these drivers, they're not really, like, they really aren't well at other tracks, say short tracks or road courses, etc. This is a play track. Everyone has a chance to win this, and they all know that. So they're trying to make every moment count while they're here at this play track. They want to be the one to go ahead and win, solidify their name into the playoffs, and get that out of the way now while they have a chance, because we don't go to another play track until the last race before the playoffs start.
That inside line together really well, led by Dejan Weeks, Murphy in second, Dylan Poteet still in third with Dan Day fourth and fifth, Nathan Amoito. A very exciting race. Dante Ricci's worked his way back up to 7th, so he's going to be still a factor here down the stretch. Coming to the line, they will see 3 laps to go on the board. Dejan Weeks in control right now. That outside line's just fallen apart since the start. They are nose to tail, the front 3.
And that high side, you're talking about nose to tail, that high side, they don't have all the drivers up there, and they are bumping each other in these corners, trying every little aspect that they can find to push each other to the front. But unfortunately, it just looks like it's not going to happen right now. And you've got Dejan and Joey. Just wonder if Joey's going to have anything for that 10 car.
If he's going to get any chance at this, he needs Poteet and Dan and maybe Amoito to go with him in order to get around the 10. If he goes by himself, even for a split second, Poteet, he's going to take full advantage of that and move into second, and then maybe try to set up Dejan here coming down to the line. 2 laps to go here at the stripe in the Wrestlemania 240K. It's all over the place. Amoito makes a move to the outside, maybe to get some help from the 78, and he will. Will Ricci go with him? No, as we have 2 laps to go. As I said, Weeks in the lead. Murphy staying packed with him as the 38 and the 78 made a move, and they get denied by everybody else.
Couple of unfortunate stragglers in the back. Tristan Allen's one of them. The 91 of Berto is back there as well. Meanwhile, in the middle of the pack, or the front, I should say, is Tyler Mallon, still trying to get something going with that high side. It just seems like it's just dying out. The 48 of Cody Lamas is coming back up. Eric Rodriguez is now passing Shane Sides. The 21 of Michael Norman is now trying to get his nose involved in the top.
Coming to the line, they will see the white flag. That outside line may start to form a little bit. They need Curtis and Signs to get up there. Moving and getting a move. Dante Ricci to the outside of Dan Day. Can he get back up to the front? Weeks takes the white flag with Murphy, Poteet, and Day in tow. Who makes a move? Does Poteet go up to block? No,
Eric Rodriguez on the apron. And there's a wreck back there in the corner. Eric Rodriguez was able to make it through, but I think his warp just sent everyone to the wall back there. And like you said, I think they were coming to the checker this time. I'm not sure they're going to have a caution for that.
No caution was called. Poteet to the outside. Weeks puts the nose up there. Poteet trying to make a move. Weeks goes up to block. Murphy on the bottom. Ricci to the middle. Murphy on the bottom. Who's going to have it at the stripe? Murphy's got no help on the bottom. Ricci trying to get around to it.
Dante
Weeks,
making a move.
A little bit move. Dante makes the move, but coming to the stripe. And the winner will be Dejan Weeks. Big crash at the stripe.
Now that was exciting. And that's what IMRC is about, excitement.
Oh my goodness, what a race! Dejan Weeks was just getting surrounded by everybody, and he just pulls it out and pulls off an incredible victory here tonight. Oh my goodness, what a run for the man who ran second all night long, and in the final 10 laps, or so laps, He just took it and ran with it, and a win will be awarded to him and a trip to the IMRC Cup Series playoffs.
That's just so it's exhilarating to go 4 wide and randomly be there at the end of that the way that was. I can't even imagine what they were thinking when that was happening.
Dejan Weeks will end this race on top. He's going to come down and do a couple of victory burnouts. Second place out of all that in the wreck at the end was Will Goss. Third, Dylan Poteet. Fourth, Dante Ricci after an incredible night. Dejan does his burnouts. Fifth was the 14. I don't think we even really talked. Oh, sorry, it was Joey Murphy. I'm sorry, we did talk about him.
Yeah, we did.
Sixth, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize the number. Sixth was Roger Ray. Seventh, the 61. That's Dan Day. Eighth, the 36 of Natan Amoito. Ninth was Austin Ogo after being 2 laps down earlier on, and then in rounding out the top 10 was Michael Norman in the 21. Before we go to driver interviews, I want to go back and look at that finish. That was just an exciting finish to a race that was just action-packed, everything you could ask for in the IMRC Cup Series. I'm glad we were able to bring it to you here on FRN. What a finish. We're going to start back in turn 3 as to just an incredible finish. There's Weeks defending everybody. With Ricci coming down, we'll slow it down a bit for you here. Ricci went to the middle. Will Goss helping him. Day's on the apron almost. They're 3 wide behind him. Poteet on the outside, who made a first move. Ricci punted at least the 10 a little bit coming to the line. I'm going to keep it on Ricci here because he got turned here at the stripe. They were nearly 4 wide, and then it looked like for a moment Ricci had a chance to maybe get there, but I think he got a little too close to the 10 there, and then the 14 and others just got wrecked and just got messed up. Oh my goodness, look at Ricci.
And I wanted to elaborate if you had a favorite driver running in the backpack there. Eric Rodriguez had been warping, and he tried to move to the apron, and his warp collected the 80 of the unfortunate accident again of Lyndon Wright, who sent his car straight up into the 24 of DJ Curtis subbing for Dylan Schwallenberg, and that's what happened to that group back there.
Man, just a wild finish to this race. Again, a great run for Dejan Weeks. A couple other guys like Dante Ricci dominating the onset of this race, just couldn't quite get it done there at the end. What a move he made to try and make up for having lost the lead and getting it back and end up winning this thing, but it was not to be tonight. We are going to, if you would implore us for a moment as we get ready to bring up drivers in, we will be right back here on FRN to bring you the driver interviews, including Dejan Weeks, your race winner. We will be right back here on FRN in Pensacola.
All right.
Back here in the race booth, a finish that was just an incredible finish at that. We got Dylan Poteen in here, who ended up out of all that melee at the end, finished third. Dylan, what a run for you tonight. You made a really bold move through 3 on the back straightaway in the 3 and 4 to maybe try and make an effort to get around Dejan. But what did you think out there?
Well, it was interesting how that kind of set up. I didn't really have a lot of plans going into that because we were kind of just single file, so it kind of came down to somebody behind me wanted to go, and it didn't kind of look that way. So I was just kind of just riding right there behind Dejan and Joey, but I just kind of peeked and noticed that Dante and them got a heck of a run on the outside, and they were outnumbering us, and it was kind of a split-second decision to jump up in front of them, and kind of went for it. And then I was almost to the inside, or I should say the outside of Dejan, but he came up and blocked me. But he did what he was supposed to do, and once that happened, I thought when I got kicked out of line, I was going back to about 12th or further, but the gates kind of opened in front of me. I thought for a minute all the leaders were going to wreck, and I was in the clear. It would have been me and Will possibly battling for it, but Dejan hung on. He did what he needed to do to win that, so congrats to him. I kind of owed him anyway from Talladega. He helped me win that one, and I told him if I got a chance to get with him today, I was going to commit to him and work with him and stuff. And I mean, I gave him that bump. He blocked me, but I kind of looked at the bump there as a way to help him because it was getting crazy behind us, and I was rooting for him to win. Not even gonna lie. So it was a good day for the 17 team, for Team SB, and like I said, I think I finished third 3 times this season. So apparently I've fallen in love with this spot. But overall, it was a good run. Got a better finish than I thought. It was just tough to pass, and the outside. That was really the first time I really saw the outside make something happen all race, and it was hard to develop for most of the race, but all in all, it was a good day.
Absolutely. Jess, do you have anything?
If you don't mind, Dylan, I just want to ask here. It seems like every time we were watching, it seemed like Dante was dominating, but it always seemed like it was the bottom of that whole track that was the dominant. Could you do anything at all on the high side at any point whatsoever, or was it just nowhere to really do anything, period?
Well, top of 3 or 4 were committed early on in the race together. And they weren't going to split up, so we had to kind of try to gang up on them. A lot of us tried to do that early in the race, and we tried to make things happen, but it just didn't materialize. Like, we got to about 3rd, and that was about as high as we got. So a lot of it was, there was a lot of effort to get up there, but a lot of it just didn't work out. Like I said, the last run with Dante getting me up there, that was the closest we got to the front in that situation. So yeah, it was definitely difficult. It was a 1-lane track for the most part. Everybody was committed to that yellow line at the bottom, and that's just kind of how it went, I guess. But it is what it is. I'm happy to get a good finish out of it. So
I do want to ask you.
Didn't wreck my car either.
I do want to ask you one more thing, Putty. We saw Kiani several times along with the 91 of Berto. Berto checked up a couple of times, and the back end kicked out like it was really loose. And Kiani hit the apron a couple of times and spun out along with Eric at one point. Was it really that loose down there? Like with your car about like completely going to go around if you got on that apron at all at any point?
Yeah, even with the bumping, it got to the point where we were all kind of kicking sideways and stuff. There was a point, I think the second to last run, Roger got kicked out of the line in front of me, but I was getting shoved so hard. I was trying to just check up just a little bit for him, and I just couldn't stay off of him. I was getting shoved so much by DJ and whoever was behind him, and they shot him out of line. So it was pretty easy to actually get loose in these tight situations. And yeah, that apron, I didn't hit it myself, but I did notice a couple of people at some points of the race, they were hitting it, just kind of lost it. I think something may happen like the 95 or somebody at about midway through it. But yeah, it was very treacherous down there. So we were all like on thin ice and everything tonight. So, but all in all, like I said, it was fun. Just kind of wish we were able to get more side-by-side racing up at the front. Just one of those deals, and you just have to make the most of it at that point.
And you did make the most of it. I mean, yeah, 3rd, but you got the points that you needed to keep growing that little bubble you got, especially with that win earlier on in the season. So it seems like you're in a really good position right now.
Yeah, having that in the back of your pocket, or having that in your pocket, it helps a lot too. So just knowing that you have that win, you can go take chances like that and go for it. And I was content where I was, but I just kind of split second saw that line. I was like, I might as well try to go for it and see what happens. It's kind of all or nothing at that point, and I have nothing to lose. So it kind of worked out in the way of getting a good finish, but I didn't get the win, but it is all right. Like I said, I'm happy for Dejan to get that win. So he definitely did a great job today, and glad he was able to get that W he needed.
All right, Dylan Poteet, a great run for you tonight. real quick here because we got a couple other guys we're going to get to. Anybody you want to thank?
Just want to thank all the Team SB guys and our satellite team, the guys that worked with us tonight. It was a group effort. We tried to do what we can to get up there and make something happen, but everybody at the 17 team did a great job. Cock Industries was on the car, and first time with them. Glad I didn't replicate a certain driver's wreck in this car. It came home mostly clean, so nice to bring home a car with not any slight damage. Well, I guess maybe a little bit of damage, but all in all, good race. Like I said, thanks to everybody that worked with us, and thank you guys for putting on the live stream for the race today, the broadcast. Appreciate what you guys do, and can't wait for you guys to come back again. And yeah, fun race tonight.
Alrighty, Dylan Poteet, third place finisher here tonight. Thanks for joining us, and I'll go ahead and move you back up to everybody else. We're going to go ahead and we'll go to our second place finisher, Will Goss, who out of all that melee ended up in second.
You want me to get him?
I got him. Don't worry about it. Will Goss, after all that, you ended up second tonight. An excellent run for you. Nearly got it there at the end. What do you think tonight?
Well, as I posted in the Facebook group, it wouldn't be a cup race without me finishing second in some way.
Yeah, I noticed you were hanging towards the middle of or just the edge of the top 10 there for a while. You were trying to work with Shane up on the outside line, maybe to get something going. It's just that outside line tonight just didn't really have a lot of speed to it, or maybe just people not willing to force themselves up to the outside until they had to there like that at the end. What was your thoughts on that?
It was very situational, the way that we could use it. It seemed like if we had enough people, it could get going, but it really depended on whether or not the bottom line was moving or not, whether or not it'd get checked up, because it got checked up quite often, and we'd be able to get runs. But towards that later part of the race, I think the bottom was just the move to make the moves later in the race with like 2 to go or whatnot. But early in the race, we at least made it entertaining.
Jess, you have anything for him?
I don't know how the hell you were able to manage to hold yourself the way it was, Will. The whole race, everyone there's this lane and that high side can't go anywhere whatsoever, and you're checking up, not trying to run someone over, trying not to get loose, trying not to spin out or anything, and then at the very end, it all broke loose and you come home second. I don't even know in my own experience what that could relate to with one of those type of races at the end, the way that happened.
Just patience is key, especially at tracks like this one. I heard that the lights race, people may have been a bit too patient, and some of the drivers might not have been happy about that, but at tracks like this, I've raced super speedways for quite some time, and I've just kind of learned not to be too aggressive early, or really too aggressive at any part of the race until the situation really calls for it. You just gotta wait for the opportunity to come and make the move, and that's pretty much how I finish second every single time. I kind of just pick my moments, and sometimes it works out for me, and sometimes it just gets me in second place.
So, do you think that this series, especially the plate races, do you think they owe you now?
Oh, I think I'm definitely owed. I need a victory at a super speedway in this league for sure.
A long way overdue right now, huh, Will?
Absolutely. I thought winning Chicagoland and winning Michigan the season before was overdue, but super speedway is definitely something I need to check off.
Absolutely. I firmly believe you'll be able to get to that point one of these days, hopefully. I'm not sure what the schedule looks like going forward. You got a big track in Pocono coming up, but it doesn't really drive like a super speedway, so I'm a firm believer you'll get up there into the win column at a super speedway very soon. Very, very soon.
Oh, absolutely. Here's hoping that I can get one of those on my resume. Would like to set myself up for the playoffs if I'm going to be eligible with the schedule that I have.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, Will Goss, second place tonight here at Pensacola. An excellent run for you, especially there at the end. Just a very impressive. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
I'd like to thank Shane for hosting the league every single Monday and Thursday of the week. I know he puts a lot of time and effort into it, and I don't think he gets enough credit for the show that he puts on. And also you guys for hosting the broadcast and everything. It's putting more eyes on it, and that's something that I like to see. And all my teammates at SB, Poteet, Shane, Eric, Natan helping me out there also during the race. Great team.
Alrighty, Will Goss, second place here tonight. at Pensacola. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and we're going to bring in our race winner, Dejan Weeks. The excellent run tonight and just unbelievable. Here he is. Dejan Weeks. My goodness, what a run it was for you tonight. You hung around in second most of the race, and then you picked your moment on a restart. Our second to last restart, I believe. No, yeah, our second to last restart, and you took it and ran with it, and it ended up paying off for you in the win. How did you feel tonight?
Relieved that I don't have to worry about it. That I can't speak. That I don't have to worry about a chase spot. But yeah, I just had a bunch of help from all the Fords. Threw a block that turned into having to throw another block because it didn't kill the second car in line's run. So it was fun though. Wish the track was a little bit better. The top lane had a little bit more, but it is what it is.
I have never in my life seen you block the way you did on that last lap, Dejan.
I'm never usually in position. I'm just pushing people.
And I
this
mean,
time.
Yeah, you did that majority of the race. You were pushing Dante Ricci for the majority of that race, and then all of a sudden on a restart, you had a really good run compared to him. I do want to ask one thing. Earlier on those restarts, the early restarts where Dante got a good start. Were you spinning the tires, or were you just letting him go by, or he just had a better car?
So we just, I early on in the race, I just asked him, made an agreement like, hey, just give me the inside, I'll let you in line. So I kind of just lifted and let him in. In the last restart, he took the top, and I was surprised because I didn't ask him that time again if he wanted to do it. And I knew you can restart in first gear, and you can kind of get a little bit of a better launch. I hadn't used it all night until then, so just didn't let him back in line.
Interesting. All right, Jesse, you have anything else?
Yeah, we had a conversation early on in the broadcast, Dejan, where we were trying to figure out. Chris asked me like, do you think Dejan's just content riding, behind Dante? Is he just gonna sit there and just stay there? What's my opinion? And what I told him was, I think he will sit there until you think the moment is right. I think you're just relaxing. You're gonna pounce when that door opens. And you eventually did, but what we want to know is, were you committed to Dante? Like, you said that you're a pusher and like helping people, but were you pretty much committed to help Dante the whole time, period?
That's tough because obviously when cautions can come any time and it'll change up the way your mentality is to the race, but I mean, if it stayed green and we just went green, I was just going to sit there and take the points. I wasn't going to try to make any more moves. I tried early in the race, and he wasn't going to move or I wasn't going to get help to the top. So I just said, if the caution didn't come out, I was just going to stay behind him. But that caution came out, and I got really lucky.
And lucky you were out of that. With everything going on there, coming to the stripe, you were able to hang on to it. I knew Dante moved you up a little bit there coming to the line, but you were just hang on to it and just able to come out with a win. So a very impressive run for you tonight. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Shane for giving us a fun little league to race in. Also is my team owner, so you're welcome. You need to give me a faster car next time, though. If I'm not going 200 by myself, it's an issue. I need another teammate now. But yeah, that's it, really. And also thanks to the rest of the Fords that just pushed me to the win.
Alrighty, Dejan Weeks, your race winner here tonight at Pensacola, and an excellent, great run for you tonight, staying up front, and it paid off for you with a victory. Congratulations, and hopefully you get another one before season comes to an end.
Yeah, Dejan, remember, you got one more plate race coming up before the playoffs start.
That's gonna be fun. I'm not even sure where it's at, but
Daytona.
Ooh, Daytona. Ooh. All right, let's hope Shane has a good Daytona in hand.
Alrighty, I'll wrap it up with you. All right, thank you very much. Again, congratulations for the win tonight.
Thank you.
Do we want to bring in a random or no? Your choice.
I am looking to talk to Dante Ricci, who just dominated that race. That's what I want to talk to. That's what we'll wrap up our interviews with. Dante Ricci, man, quite a run for you tonight, dominating the onset of this race, the first 30 laps or so. What did you think tonight, ending up fourth?
Wow, I'll tell you what, I had a lot of fun racing tonight's race. It was kind of boring at the beginning being up at the lead, I gotta say. I just did the best I could to stay in line and make sure I squared up good. Lost the lead on the restart there with about 10 laps to go. Just didn't clear Deja going into one. It was a tough restart, and I tried to race the racetrack and found a couple people who would push with me, tried to work with Tyler Mallon a little bit to get up back front. Then the caution came out and we had a restart late in the race, and took the white flag, and I saw the people were starting to make a move to the outside, and I figured it's too early, only two people were going. Then go down the back straightaway, blue car pulled up in front of me, I drafted, and then all of a sudden I had William Goss behind me, and we come out of 4, and I'm like, I gotta go 3 wide in the middle, I gotta try this, and coming off of 4, I just got the bumper wrong, and I got a little bit loose and got into the side of Dejan, and that's kind of what did it for me. But I'll tell you what, if I could have gotten off 4 just a little better, I would have had a chance to get up there and compete with Dejan coming to the checkered. But I had a great race, and really hats off to Dejan. Great win for him.
But Dante, I have a question. During that one restart where you were on the outside, you had basically been able to go on that high side and just dart to the inside in front of Dejan for most of those little restarts that they had. And then there was one point where you had, I don't remember who it was that was behind you, but I know that Dejan had Joey behind him. At one moment he had Joey behind him and they were able to get going. Did you just spin the tires? Were you in like second gear or what? What happened to you? Because you just fell back.
I think I took it too late in the zone. I think I should have gone earlier in the restart zone. That was a reason for not being able to clear Dejan going in the one. If I had gone earlier in the zone, I probably would have been fine. But no, I had everything set right where it needed to be. Sometimes things just don't go your way, you know.
So now I have to ask you, can you do me a favor and actually start racing like that every single plate race that we go to now?
Yeah, I give it my fullest. I tell you what, I give it my fullest, and you know, it's such a great thing to be able to come back and race with a good group of drivers who knows what they're doing. And some nights are better than others, and I hope to give it 100% the next time I come back out here.
Well, you dominated the first half of that race. I think he led what 20. He led what was it? 22
He
laps.
led almost 30 laps. I believe it was 27 laps that you led.
Wow. Yeah, it was a lot of fun being in the lead. I think you have a lot more of a challenge though when you're in the draft, 10th, 11th, 12th place, and you got to work your way back up. That's what brings me back. You know, the challenge of being in the middle of the pack. That's what you got to be able to endure. You know,
Dante, wasn't tonight your first race in the series this season, or what?
it was my first points race
I thought.
this season. I ran the preseason race at Talladega before the season started, but this was my first points paying race of the season. And I'm happy to be able to come home with the top 5 on my first race.
And now you get to wonder, what if I got a good restart, that one restart?
Yeah. The cards would have been much different, you know, and I would have liked to have the restart back, but I also know I had a chance to get the win off the turn 4 on the final lap too. So, you know, I did what I could, and I had 2 good chances tonight. I'm grateful for top 5.
Absolutely, just quite a great, honestly, a great run for you tonight. A great run, I'm thinking is a understatement. You flat out dominated this race up until towards the end there. But yeah, unfortunately, you weren't able to get the win tonight and go coast to coast from pole to win. But 4th place for your first points paying race, that's very impressive here tonight, Pensacola. Before we let you go and we get ready to wrap up the broadcast tonight, anybody you want to thank?
Well, I'd just like to thank my friend Jonathan Feld, and also goes back years ago to my friends Dominic Aragon and all the people from the Aragon Ricky crew who got me into NASCAR 2003. But Jonathan Feld was here tonight. I ran with him a lot. He did good. And also Sonny Tolman and Zach Stoltz and the whole team with Outlaw Racing and the FTF group. They give me great competitive equipment every week, and I love racing with them. So thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Dante Ricci coming up 4th tonight here at Pensacola. Hopefully we'll get to see you for more races.
Yep. See you guys.
Alrighty, and that is just about wrap us up. Final thoughts, Jess?
Well, based on tonight, we've got a while before we have the next plate race. And the next race coming up will be at Iowa. And then we go to, I believe it's Pocono, which happens to be a music band racing type race. So we're going to see a lot of neat little paint schemes on the cars of bands and pretty good artists and everything else going on. But next week at Iowa, remember, it's short track, and we saw Tempers tonight, so I wonder if Tempers are going to pull over to next week.
We're going to have to see what happens with that. Yeah, a definite big shift going from a 3-mile track to a track that's, I believe, just under a mile at Iowa. So that ought to be exciting. I'm sure these guys are excited for it. I'm not sure if we're going to be covering that or not at Iowa, but if we do, we'll see you then. If not, we will see you next time here in the IMRC Cup Series here on the Flatout Racing Network. For Jessica Shelton and our good friends who helped us get this ready tonight, Matthew Rodriguez and Seth Cole, I am Carlos Zimmerman. Signing off here on Flatout Racing Network. You've been watching a production of the IMRC Cup Series here on FRN. We